This might be my favorite depiction of Batman in a movie. So the Batman's been out for a little while now, and I've seen it twice, and it's everything I wanted it to be, and a little bit more. So this video is going to be split up into two parts. One part will have no spoilers, the first part, and the second part will have spoilers. So I'll warn you ahead of time in case you haven't seen the movie, but until then, you don't have to worry about spoilers. This is a movie about a young Batman in his second year of crime fighting, attempting to stop a trail of murders that the Riddler is committing in Gotham, and trying to get to the bottom of why he's committing them. And this movie really plays into the detective side of Batman. Throughout the movie, Batman is constantly doing detective work, trying to put an end to the Riddler's murders by solving his riddles. And not only do you get to see this Batman prove his intelligence, but it also feels like we're there solving the mysteries with him. And that's not something you get a lot of in other Batman movies. I was just constantly on the edge of my seat wanting to get to the bottom of the mysteries that the Riddler's constructed. And that just makes the movie a lot more immersive. Now I want to talk about Robert Pattinson as Batman. And I don't think another actor better displays the pain of Bruce Wayne / Batman than Robert Pattinson. Bruce Wayne is this dark, broken man in this movie. That facade of the billionaire playboy doesn't exist. Robert Pattinson portrays him with these painful eyes and this deep sadness in his voice that lets you know how broken he is. You know, Batman's pain is always there, and if you just look at his eyes, you'll see that. Pattinson doesn't try too hard with his Batman voice either.
I'm vengeance.
It's moody, and it has an edge to it, but it doesn't sound so exaggerated to the point that it doesn't sound good. Now, I do like Christian Bale's Batman, but his Batman voice really isn't the best.
Where is it? You never give it to an ordinary citizen.
Robert Pattinson has seriously become one of my favorite actors, from his role in Good Time to The Lighthouse to this. He's always able to give such a captivating and fantastic performance in one way or another. And his portrayal as Batman is no exception, with it being one of my favorite parts of the movie. And then there's Zoe Kravitz's portrayal of Selina Kyle. She makes this character feel very likable and empathetic. You get this sense of genuinity from her. She delivers some of her lines in a playful and sarcastic way.
Selena, don't throw your life away.
Don't worry, honey. I got 9 of them.
But other times, she's super convincing with the showcase of some sadder and darker emotions. You see how the city of Gotham has hurt Selina and has had a negative impact on her. Throughout the movie, you get to know her and you see that she doesn't want to be tangled up in any of this theft or crime. She doesn't want to be working at the Penguins Club. And she also has somebody that she cares about, showcasing that she has a heart. Selina is one of the characters in this movie that the audience can grasp onto, when a lot of other characters in this movie are just downright insane. I love the grim and eerie tone that the movie has. It's created with some dark and gloomy cinematography, which also goes along with the characters and how they act. Like I mentioned before, the misery you sense from Bruce Wayne. But also, there's Paul Dano's Riddler. And there's this intense scene with him at the beginning of the movie with him committing his first murder. That's not a spoiler, by the way. That's in the trailer. I think it's in the trailer. I don't know. I really hope it's in the trailer. This intense and dark moment really helps create an atmosphere for the entirety of the film. Speaking of Paul Dano's Riddler, he is fantastic in this movie. He has this eerie and creepy and dark presence, and every time he's on screen, it's pretty unsettling.
What is the price for your blind eye?
Even when there are moments where the Riddler isn't really intimidating and instead kind of goofy, like when he says lines here and there that come off as a bit comedic, my immersion is never broken, and Paul Dano is still very believable as the psychotic killer. And right by Batman's side, solving the riddles with him, is Jim Gordon, who is great in this movie. He's a fantastic example that there are still good people working in Gotham. And Jeffrey Wright is great in the role. You really buy him as this noble partner of Batman. This movie also has some really beautiful looking shots in it. Aside from a lot of the dark and grim, but effective cinematography, there's the one with Batman looking at the city of Gotham with the orange sky and the back of his head out of focus. It looks really nice. Now, the movie doesn't have too many negatives, but the pacing isn't perfect. Sometimes I felt like there was too much information getting thrown at me at once, but it was never to the point where the movie lost me. But sometimes it could have done a better job at delivering the information at a more digestible pace. Other times it did kind of feel like the pacing could have gone a little bit faster, but overall, these aren't big issues. Besides that, I don't really have too many issues with this movie. So that's it for the spoiler-free stuff. Now I'm going to get into spoiler territory. So make sure to skip to this time code to avoid any spoilers. I love the positive change that Batman goes through in this movie. Some may be upset that the classic Playboy Bruce Wayne isn't in this movie, but Batman hasn't been around for too long in this universe. He's fairly new at this still. He's only been around for like 2 years. This is a Batman who hasn't learned to put on that facade yet. We see him screw up. He crashes while gliding, and there's also a scene where he gets startled when he almost runs off of a building. Not to mention he gets outsmarted by the Riddler as well, who is successful in most of his crimes except for killing Bruce Wayne and Bella Real, the newly elected mayor of Gotham. I really like this because it shows that this Batman isn't perfect and he has a lot of room to grow. And that's exciting as a viewer to get to see a protagonist that you really like go on a journey to become better. Also, these flaws make Batman more tangible and human. He isn't this unstoppable machine. I mean, sometimes he is, but a lot of the time he isn't. He's human, and that just makes him more entertaining to watch. Throughout this movie, Batman acts very vengeful. He's someone who even innocent citizens are afraid of when they're the ones he's protecting in the first place. He learns that he has to be better than this, though, after he realizes that his way of protecting the city hasn't had the effect that he wanted it to. He can't just beat up criminals. He also has to help protect people in other ways. This message of vengeance that he's branded himself with has not only inspired the Riddler, but also his followers, as one of them calls himself Vengeance after trying to kill Bella Real. He sees how this message of vengeance has had a negative impact on Gotham. He's been surrounded by darkness his whole life. Parents had a darker past than he thought. We'll get to that later. But despite all of that, he decides that he wants to be a symbol of hope. Instead of letting the darkness of the city destroy him, he chooses to combat it. This is where you get one of the best shots of the entire movie. The shot of Batman leading the people of Gotham out of the flood that the Riddler caused with his explosions. The bright red light acts as the focal point of the shot, and all the people of Gotham quite literally see Batman as this beacon of hope, adding an emotional element. Then after that, you get this moment where before this kid gets taken away to safety after the flood, Bruce gives them this look that lets them know that everything is going to be okay. It's a really touching moment. I love how Bruce strives to be better in this movie. I just love seeing characters strive to be better in general. And again, this makes him more human. The imperfections that Bruce has and the want to be better is something that I think a lot of people can relate to. A lot of us have lived our lives certain ways and done things that we eventually come to realize are wrong, and we strive to be better. Seeing Bruce strive to be better leaves you with this strong sense of hope in a movie that's filled with darkness. And it's honestly one of my favorite parts of this movie. Now I want to talk a bit about the backstory and motivations of the Riddler. The Riddler was an orphaned child that was assured a better tomorrow by Thomas Wayne. But after he died, the money meant for the renewal fund was turned into slush funding, robbing the orphanage of money. So that better tomorrow never came for Edward Nashton, who would eventually become the Riddler. He so desperately wanted out of that cold, rat-filled orphanage, and he saw the sympathy that Bruce Wayne got after his parents died, and got angry. Because although Bruce lost his parents, Edward felt that Bruce couldn't have possibly felt the pain that he felt as an orphan. So essentially, Edward missed out on a better life due to the corruption of Gotham City. And you see a glimmer of something that you understand and even agree with him on, that corruption needs to stop. So there's tangibility within the character. But also, he's a serial killer who flooded the entire city. He sets out to do a string of murders of powerful people in Gotham, while also exposing their corruption in the process, and near the end, floods the whole city as a way to birth a new Gotham. Sometimes giving a villain a backstory doesn't necessarily make you sympathize with them, but it does make them tangible. You understand them better, and often that's enough. It's enough to give them real human problems that the audience can latch onto, while still viewing them as these evil villains. Another thing I really like about this movie is the positive change that Selina Kyle goes through. Selina learns that killing won't make her feel whole. During the movie, she wants to kill Carmine Falcone, who's her father, by the way, as revenge for killing Annika, someone who she really cared about. But Bruce knows that killing will only make her go down a darker path, and you don't want to see her be consumed by the darkness of Gotham, because the movie has done a really good job at making you care for her. I love how Bruce helps bring out a more heroic side of Selina. You know, near the end of the movie, she actually helps save Bruce, whereas before she was trying to kill people. And at the end, when she rides away on her motorcycle, you feel happy for her because she's free. I really love the depiction of Gotham in this movie. This Gotham feels really lived in. You spend a lot of time with mobsters and clubs, and you really get a good idea as to what this city is really like, and the people who live here, like the Penguin or Oz. I really love this dingy edge that this version of the Penguin has. And also, somehow, that's Colin Farrell. This being Colin Farrell is almost as unbelievable as the claws in X-Men Origins Wolverine. Anyways, this city is really corrupt, and there are some really bad apples here. Who uses that expression? Am I an old man? And the people who are in power, and a lot of people who swear to protect this city, can't be trusted. It's eventually revealed that Falcone is controlling a lot of people who have power within Gotham, including people in the GCPD. The more we see of Gotham and the more we live here, the more we see wrong with it. Also, there's an appearance by a Batman villain. He's not really well known, nobody really cares about him. The Joker, I think. The Joker's in this movie. After the Riddler gets put away in Arkham Asylum, another inmate starts talking to him, telling him not to be sad, and that people love a comeback story. And this person is the Joker, which I'm really excited about. I love the Joker. I know we keep getting different interpretations of him, and a lot of people are sick of that, but I could go for another Joker. We've had a plethora of different Joker portrayals, some insanely good and some whatever the hell this is. But more so than with other characters, I think the Joker can really benefit from having multiple interpretations of him put to screen. He's the embodiment of chaos. That's pretty broad, and there's a lot of things you could do with that. You know, the Joker is just a character that always gets me intrigued and excited, and I'm excited to see another portrayal of him. This time played by Barry Keoghan. He already does a great job with the short appearance that he has in the movie, with a creepy yet playful presence. Okay, it's a good thing I didn't post this video yet, because I really want to talk about this. This isn't a part of the movie, but it is a deleted scene, and I just really want to talk about it. So this scene involves Batman visiting the Joker in Arkham Asylum to get answers about the Riddler. I really like this scene. It again shows that this Joker is a bit playful, with him talking to Batman about how it's almost their anniversary.
Almost your anniversary, isn't it?
But the way he delivers the line with this gravelly, almost whispering voice just makes him sound chilling. I really like the acid damage look that this version of the Joker has. And this being a darker and more realistic universe, it really makes sense that this look would be a bit more graphic and severe if they are going the acidic chemical route. He also has this hyena-like laugh, which is really chilling. This scene isn't too long, but I do really like it, and I really can't wait to see more of this version of the Joker. Everything just adds up to give him this unsettling presence. Barry Keoghan does a great job in this scene, and I can't wait to see more of him as the Joker. Okay, that's it. Back to the actual review. Now I want to talk about the scene at the hospital between Bruce and Alfred. After the Riddler releases confidential information about the Wayne family, Bruce finds out the truth that his father hired Falcone to threaten Edward Elliot for wanting to report information about his mother and her dark family history. This led to Falcone to kill Elliot, and Bruce is distraught when he finds this out. He no longer believes that his father was a good man, and believes that the reason he became Batman to begin with was a lie. That his father wanted to quiet Elliot to protect his public image. But Alfred tells him that it was to protect his mother and him, and he never wanted Elliot to die. He just made a pretty bad mistake. And then Alfred apologizes to Bruce for not being there for him more when he was a kid. And Bruce tells him that he doesn't have to apologize, and instead he's really just happy that Alfred is okay. He tells him that when the bomb that the Riddler planted went off and he got injured, that he hadn't felt that kind of fear since he lost his parents. This accident made him more grateful that he still has somebody like Alfred by his side. He still has somebody that he cares about. Then Alfred reaches his hand out and Bruce holds onto it. And I really love how Alfred helps Bruce see the good within his father, even though his father did make some pretty bad mistakes. I just really love this scene in general. I really like how Bruce and Alfred grow closer together. It's a really heartwarming moment within a pretty dark film. And part of the reason why I really like this Alfred is because of Andy Serkis. He has this natural charisma to him that really makes you buy him as this caregiver that's been with Bruce his entire life. Another scene I really love is the one at Arkham Asylum where the Riddler starts saying Bruce Wayne over and over again, making Batman think that he knows his secret identity. But in actuality, he's just saying Bruce Wayne over and over again because he's the only one who he didn't get to kill. I love the fear on Batman's face in this scene. It once again just shows how well Robert Pattinson can emote as Batman, and it also just shows how this Batman gets afraid. He has fear, making him more human. The movie is also filled with some great action. That chase scene with Batman and the Penguin is fantastic. You can really sense the fear that the Penguin has of Batman as he rushes to get away from him, making it really thrilling. There's some really intense sound design as well with the cars and the explosions.
I got you! I got you!
The scene near the end of the movie where Batman takes out some of the Riddler's followers is really thrilling, with the addition of the main theme kicking in. It just gets me really hyped. And in general, the music in this movie is just really great. It just really matches and enhances the moody atmosphere of the movie. At the end of the day, this movie is fantastic and there's a lot that I love about it. It gave me my favorite Batman, my favorite Catwoman, a really strong suspenseful story, and a really strong message of hope as well. And I really can't wait to see what's in store for this franchise. I can't wait to see where Bruce Wayne's story leads, where Selena Kyle's story leads, which characters pop up, which villains pop up, who's gonna play those villains. I'm just really excited. So let me know what you think about this movie in the comment section. I'm really gonna try to upload a lot more this year, and I'm gonna try to make a lot more time for YouTube in my life, and try to balance everything else with school and everything else with YouTube. And yeah, I have a lot of content that I want to make this year, and I'm really just ready to take this channel to new heights. So yeah, that's it for the video. Make sure to let me know your thoughts on the Batman in the comment section, and if you want to see more videos in the future, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.